Gridiron competition, the flag football tournament bringing players from all around the Midwest to the Forest City. Plus, winter wear, the local effort to keep the Beloit community warm this winter, the need organizers say is much needed. And Spook the Blocks, downtown businesses come together to offer up an afternoon of family-friendly Halloween fun.
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Marissa Lessner. Thanks for staying up late with us tonight. A crash in rural Winnebago County sends at least 2 people to the hospital. That crash happened around 11 this morning at the intersection of North Meridian and Freeport Roads. 2 SUVs were involved. You can see both of those vehicles suffered heavy damage. Our crew at the scene saw at least 2 people taken away in ambulances. No word on their conditions or what might have caused that crash. We'll give you more updates as they become available. Today, teams from across the Midwest fought for a spot at NFL Flag Football Championship next July. Eyewitness News reporter Stephen Lewandowski was on the scene and kicks us off.
Saturday marked the first ever kickoff to a tournament at the newly constructed Clarence Hicks Sports Complex in Rockford. The Chicago Bears NFL Flag Regional brought in young athletes from all across the Midwest.
Chicago Bears can have this tournament anywhere in the state of Illinois, and they chose Rockford.
All 32 NFL teams host a regional flag football tournament.
This is a qualifying event. In order to make it to the NFL Flag Championships in July, you have to participate within a regional.
Winners of the regional tournaments go on to play in Canton, Ohio at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Lamont Jones is the general manager of the complex and was able to attend the championship in Ohio just last year.
I think that's a unique opportunity for kids to go out there and compete at that level, but just go across the parking lot and see all those busts of former NFL greats and to see that history is just an awesome experience.
One local team is already looking forward to the trip.
What are you guys most excited for today?
Go to Ohio.
Nick Corrigan coaches the Rockford Bears, a 14U girls team. He says they had a small window to prepare before the tournament.
We've been working together specifically for about 2 weeks. So we've had 4 practices coming into today, all kind of after 8:30 at night, and the last one was about 20 degrees outside, it seemed like. So yeah, we had a little bit just to get it all together.
However, Corrigan says he couldn't be prouder of his team.
These girls, I mean, a lot of them, it's their first year playing. For some of them, they've been playing for 2 years now, and it's just super awesome seeing them. They're excellent representations of our young women here in Rockford.
Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Stephen Lewandowski.
The winners of today's regional will play in the championship next July. The winning wasn't just happening on the field, though. Today's event is estimated to have brought in nearly $500,000 into our local economy. Data shows that community colleges across the country are seeing enrollment numbers drop, but not here in Illinois. A new report shows Illinois community colleges saw enrollment grow for the 4th year in a row. And Rockford, Rock Valley saw a more than 9% rise in enrollment since 2021. Highland Community College in Freeport is up 23% in the same time. Kishwaukee College in DeKalb County has seen a nearly 29% increase, and Sauk Valley in Dixon is up 14%. The Illinois Community College Board says the growth comes from a focus on career training.
I think our community colleges, one, are investing in career and technical education and providing opportunities for students who the traditional 4-year path might not be for them, but they're interested in a trade or a short-term certificate or maybe healthcare. We've seen real growth in those areas.
About 274,000 new students are enrolled at Illinois community colleges. Local community advocates help raise awareness to an issue that 1 in 8 women will face in their lifetimes: breast cancer. Jeremiah Development, along with Aetna Better Health Illinois, hosted the Pamper Me Pink Health and Resource Fair. The day included free breast exams, health education, and fun self-care activities. It's all in an effort to make sure the community knows what resources are available. Organizers say events like this will draw in those who may have fears about visiting a doctor's office.
People don't like going to the doctor, so having a resource for them to come at their leisure and be with other people, come with friends, come with family. It makes it less stressful, I think, for them. And then I think they're more willing to come.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This year, nearly 317,000 women are expected to be diagnosed with breast cancer. A pair of local organizations work together to make sure their community has something warm to wear this winter. Community Action Inc. and Visit Beloit hosted the annual winter wear giveaway this morning. Coats, hats, gloves, scarves, and other items were all up for grabs for free. And according to organizers, the need was high, with many of those items being claimed in just an hour. They say it shows the importance of this annual event.
It's tremendously important, especially for our families, the ability to provide their children, provide the adults with winter coats and clothing, to be able to save them money so they can use those resources on other things is critically important. So being able to do this every year for our families makes a huge difference in the community.
In all, Community Action says it and Visit Beloit were able to give out more than 500 pieces of winter clothing. If you were in downtown Rockford this afternoon, you were in for quite a sight. It was all part of the 10th annual Spook the Blocks. Kids were all decked out in their best costumes. We saw everything from Spider-Man to a Starbucks drink. Businesses were giving out candy to the young ones, and there was plenty of family-friendly fun like pumpkin painting and book giveaways. One business we spoke with says it's a great chance to get more exposure to the community while also having some fun.
It's very enjoyable. Like I said, just to see the kids out and the smile on their faces, and they come in, and just some of the comments that's being made. We had a comment asking were they inside of a church, or one little fella asked, was I Jesus? So yeah, it's just fun interacting with the kids. Yeah.
More than 30 downtown businesses took part in today's Spook the Blocks event. The blocks in the historic village at Midway Village were also a little spooky today. Coming up, the tradition that's been bringing out thousands of trick-or-treaters for nearly 4 decades.
It was another cold morning in the state line. Temperatures back below freezing, but we won't drop nearly as far tonight with some of that added cloud cover. I'll let you know how long the sprinkles stick around and when our next chance for rain might be. That's all coming up in just a few minutes.
It is the last Saturday before Halloween, and kids could stock up on some candy with a lot of events happening today for trick-or-treaters. Thousands roam the streets in the historic village at Midway Village. All Hallows Eve brings out about 5,000 people every year. Community sponsors decorate the inside and outside of buildings in the historic village. There are also crafts, wagon rides, games, and food. This is a big tradition in Rockford. It's the 37th year, and it serves as a good reminder for everything that Midway Village has to offer.
This village is tucked away back here in the woods. We're right in the middle of town, basically, but a lot of people just drive by on Guilford and Perryville and kind of forget that this is back here. So this is a good chance for people to learn and remind themselves that the village is here, and we do a lot of stuff here year-round.
The next event in the village is next spring for the Peaches Playdate. Another historic street was also filled with trick-or-treaters. Cherry Valley had its annual Halloween parade and trunk or treat. And check out those moves, Michael Jackson. There were some really good costumes out there today as families walked from the old school park to Bowman Park. There were a lot of princesses, some spooky characters, and even, look at that, it's Trash Truck.
It's a great time. Everybody has a good time. The kids, some of the kids have some pretty ingenious costumes. You see the smiles on their face, and I mean, it's not, the village is passing out candy, but there's a lot of other groups that do the same thing.
And the best costumes won Dairy Queen gift cards. That's me and my family. We won one of those gift cards as well. The village also announced a winner for the home that had the best Halloween light display. We always love that parade in Cherry Valley. And it was not too cold for all the trick-or-treat events today. I call it a nice brisk fall day. Find out if we'll get a treat weather-wise for Halloween. Jordan has your full forecast coming up next.
Now, your first warn weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Radar has been fairly lit up with spotty showers on and off over the last several hours, but a majority of that showing up likely having a hard time making its way to the ground. There's still a layer of drier air in the atmosphere that really prevented much of that rain from reaching the surface through the majority of the day, but later and later into the evening, a bit more of that rain was actually making it to the ground. So some light showers, some spots of drizzle out there. Generally, the coverage of those will start to continue to fade as we head over the next several hours. The total rainfall that came down really did not amount to much, even though it did show up fairly well on radar. A lot of this that's showing up only about a trace to maybe up to a few hundredths of an inch of rain over the last 24 hours. A dry look now with our Mercy Health SkyTrack camera overlooking downtown Rockford atop the Supply Corps building, brought to us by Window World, but we are left with that cloud cover. Gradually through the evening, we'll start to see the clouds fade away a little bit, and that will allow for our temperature to drop even further than where we already have. Already down to 47 in DeKalb, 48 now in Rockford, 45 Janesville, still sitting at 50 degrees down in Sterling. I'm showing off the dew point as well, noting how far apart some of those temperatures and those dew points are, which is where we have that drier air near the surface. And that's limiting some of that rain from making it to the ground. Weather watcher Terry out in Genoa reporting an air temperature of 48 degrees, a dew point of 43, easterly wind at about 7 miles per hour, and no measurable rainfall from the daytime today. Through the rest of the evening and overnight, we'll continue to see the clouds fade away, eventually leading to a mainly clear sky going into the early part of tomorrow morning. But once we get that clearing, that will really allow our temperature to drop, eventually making it back down right around that 40-degree mark for many spots. For tomorrow, that kicks off the day with sunshine. Therefore, we'll return back to 60, 61, the forecast high in Rockford. A little bit more in the way of the sunshine. Very fall-like, pleasant afternoon with only a light wind out of the southeast, possibly gusting upwards of 15 or 20 miles per hour. As we head through the night, there's a look at that clearing showing up with Futurecast, and depending on how quickly some of that arrives, we might see a few spots to the north and northeast briefly dip into the upper 30s, but notice the cloud cover sticking around a bit longer keeps a few other locations stuck in the mid 40s. Nonetheless, we do start out the day tomorrow with some sunshine and our air temperature returning back at least up to right around that 60-degree mark, if not pushing the low 60s for some. A bit more in the way of cloud cover on the way, though, as we head into Monday and Monday afternoon. That will be tied into our next weather system that's sitting well off to our west, the Pacific Northwest, in fact, and this water vapor imagery shows off very well the spin in the atmosphere moving into the Pacific Northwest, and that'll interact with a few additional waves, one down to our south and another to the northwest, or northeast, I should say. That is called phasing when those interact with one another. Depending on where that initially happens, it'll bring our next potential for some spotty rain showers our direction Monday night, Tuesday, and even going into Wednesday. You can see that develops a surface low pressure system sometime around the area between Tuesday and Wednesday. The exact placement of that still a little bit up in the air, depending on wherever that phasing occurs, but we could see that potential for at least some spotty showers moving nearby or overhead during that time. Exact placement will determine the exact timing of those showers and how much of that rain could come down. That window would be between Monday night and going through Wednesday. Air temperature during that time does drop a bit from 61 tomorrow back to the upper 50s, and then we're stuck with the 50s the rest of the week, but trending on the drier side toward the end of the week.
All right, thanks, Jordan. Drew's in next with sports. The IHSA just released their high school football playoff pairings. We will have every single team in the state line that made the postseason schedule up next.
Now sports with Drew Collins.
The playoff field is set in high school football. Tonight, the IHSA released the teams that are in the field for all 8 classes. One of those teams in the field is Jefferson. The Jayhawks players and coaches gathered at Jefferson High School's auditorium tonight to watch the IHSA release the field of the teams. The Jayhawks football program and Jayhawks fans have waited 32 years for this moment. That's how long it's been since a Jefferson football team has made the playoffs. Here was their reaction when they saw Jefferson flash up on the big screen and saw their first round opponent will be Chicago Brother Rice. So Jefferson will play at Chicago Brother Rice in Class 7A in the first round. The day and the time will be determined later this weekend. Guilford is also in Class 7A. The G-Vikes clinched the 8th seed, but they were dealt a tough matchup. They will host 25th seeded Chicago St. Rita, but St. Rita is a football powerhouse. In Class 6A, the biggest mistake the Hononegah Indians could have made was losing to Belvedere last night, because now they are the 16 seed and will face powerhouse Nazareth Academy. And the Harlem Huskies slide into the 7th seed. They will host Chicago Mather. In Class 5A, the Nickton champs, the Blue Thunder, claim the number 2 seed. They will host Chicago Noble Academy. And Sycamore draws a tough matchup with Cary Grove. In Class 4A, Marengo will host Peoria Notre Dame. Dixon falls to the 4th seed. They will host Woodstock North. Coal City will host Sterling, and Geneseo will host Rochelle. Over in Class 3A, North Boone just squeaked into the postseason with the 16 seed. They will face number 1 Richmond Burton. Byron surprisingly fell to a 2 seed this postseason. I'm not sure how that happened, but they will host Oregon. And Dupec earned the 10th seed. They will travel to Johnsburg. In Class 2A, Eastland Pearl City earned the 14th seed. They will face the 3rd seed Farmington. And in 1A, Stockton secured the 1 seed. They will host 16 seed Galena. And Lena Winslow falls back to the number 3 spot. They will host the Forreston Cardinals. NIU's 7-game losing streak is no longer after beating the Ball State Cardinals for their first MAC win of the season. NIU scored on their first drive. Sophomore Telly Johnson Jr. races 53 yards to have the game's opening touchdown. Josh Holst and the Huskies were moving down the field once again, but Jodrick Lewis picks this one off in the end zone to keep it a 1-score game. Let's give a quick shout out to Byron standout, J.J. Edmondson. He was on campus today for a visit with the Huskies. Before the end of the half, Ball State put together a strong drive. They get it to the goal line with an end-around sweep. That's T.J. Horton. And then Ball State ties it going into halftime with a nice play-action play. But the Huskies defense shut out the Cardinals' offense in the second half. And NIU gets their second win on the season with a 21-7 dub at home. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Well, we had a lot of trick-or-treat things going on today. It looks like tomorrow we're going to have a lot more as well.
Right.
And looks like tomorrow is going to be beautiful for it.
Overall, the weekend really hasn't been that bad. There were a couple of spotty showers to dodge here and there, but for the most part, things ended up staying dry for much of the daytime today and look to be dry tomorrow with a lot more sunshine.
Yeah, when that sun comes out, then it really gets kind of nice and warm out too.
Yeah, and it doesn't really feel all that cold, even though, you know, we're entering those fall seasons. The sun isn't out for quite as long, but when you see that sunshine in October, you know it's going to be a good day. Still a few spotty showers here into the night tonight. First one, interactive radar. Those exiting the area after midnight, 61 with sunshine tomorrow. Next, chances for showers early next week.
All right, and we're going to keep our eyes on that Halloween forecast. Have a great night.